Hello everyone, this is DJ Commando of a 45's Affair radio show, where I play all vinyl 45s. You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, Noonan, Georgia.
Looking for the right bank to be your partner? Experience the difference at Southern States Bank. At Southern States Bank, we're not just your bankers, we're your partners. Our team is deeply rooted in the community, and we take pride in providing personalized service. Come to Southern States Bank, where great service comes naturally. Visit us today or check us out at southernstatesbank.net. Southern States Bank, your community, your bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, and MLS number 410611.
Hey everyone, my name is Jared Potts. I'm a minister at the Malachi Project. And what Malachi Project is fathering a generation. We have a kids mentoring program for middle school and high school age kids. We also have an after school program for kindergarten through fifth grade. And so these programs we have for the kids are free of cost for the children. And so we do fundraisers. And right now we're doing a fundraiser with these Malachi Project t-shirts. For a $25 donation, you can receive a Malachi Project t-shirt, and your donation will go into the ministry. And so we will be on the Noonan Square May 24th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And so if you would like to contribute to this fundraiser and this cause we are doing with the Malachi Project, you could call or text 770-639-8685.
Hank Arnold here from Coweta Force. Coweta Force is Noonan's own addiction recovery support center. We exist to provide recovery support services for individuals and family members who have been impacted by addiction. Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowetaforce.org or follow us on Facebook.
Shopping for insurance doesn't have to be stressful. I'm Christy, owner of Ellsworth Insurance, located here in Noonan, Georgia. We're an independent agency with access to multiple carriers for home, auto, life, health, and commercial insurance. We're your one-stop shop for your insurance needs. www.insurewithellsworth.com, 770-755-7053. We look forward to meeting you soon.
You're walking, shopping, or on your favorite trail. You get that feeling somebody's coming up on you. What do you do to be prepared in today's world? Hi, I'm Holly Reese. I'm the founder of Warrior Defenders. As a certified tactical self-defense instructor, I'm specializing in women's self-defense. All women of all ages have the ability to learn how to defend themselves effectively. With technical drills to build their survival skills, you can be your own hero. Classes and private seminars are available. Learn today to have a safer tomorrow. WarriorDefenders.com.
Good morning. Welcome to Empower Strike Back on WQEE, the Key 99.1 FM. I am your host, Holly Reese, with Warrior Defenders, and we are excited for a whole bunch of upcoming summer fun and Memorial Day weekend and trips and graduations this week, and then getting ready for college. There's so many things we can talk about on how to make sure that you keep yourself safe and be prepared and not paranoid for the summer fun. So today I wanted to share a little bit of tips about abduction prevention. This is so important, especially in the summertime when kids are out playing, when we are traveling. We know we see those alerts all the time about somebody's missing, and it's such a scary thing to think about, but it can be prevented if we take certain steps. So we'll talk about the statistics, how to protect yourself, and figure out what you can do if you feel like you're being followed or threatened, or how to protect you and your children. A lot of people think that abduction is somebody giving candy to a kid, but unfortunately it's a lot worse. It's an act of taking someone away by force, anybody of any age, from one place to another, and making someone go somewhere with using threats or violence and being carried away against your will. This can also be in a car. in 2023, there were 250 missing people in Georgia alone. Nationwide, it's a lot worse. Missing children statistics. Every year, 8 million children are reported missing worldwide. This is awful. We need to keep an eye on our kids and teach them how to get home. In the United States, 2,300 children were reported missing per day. Strangers abduct less than 1% of missing children. Parents are accountable for 90% of the abductions. How often do we see those Amber Alerts out there because of a child custody battle that somebody didn't want to return the child, and then all of a sudden that child shows up missing? And sometimes, unfortunately, they don't get returned back. Attempted abductions occur more often when child is going to or from school, walking on the street, playing, walking, or riding bikes. And sometimes those custody battles turn into somebody picked the child up from school who wasn't supposed to pick the child up, and then that turns into a missing person and a missing child. Girls ages 12 to 17 are most common victims of abduction. And that brings me to how to keep your children safe. We all know that we teach them safety in public, not to go with strangers. But you need to establish a code word so that if your child is calling you or texting you, they can send you that code word so they know they're in danger. We've talked about making sure you have updated photos. In today's world, our phones are constantly taking pictures and videos. Make sure that you upload those to a safe place. So, for example, if the phone is destroyed, the photos have already been uploaded to a cloud so that you can have access to them. Trust your instincts and intuition. And make sure that you know every route your child takes to and from school if they're walking, all their friends, where their friends' houses are, and the activities that they do with their friends. We need to make sure that they are knowing the difference between being rude and being safe in a polite conversation. We need to teach our children to be their heart defenders. And I have a whole line of books for little ones and a little bit older talking about different scenarios that they can be educated about at warriordefenders.com. You can read those together with your children. I also have a board game that you can play with them to teach them about lying and safety and situational awareness, and a parent guide. So there's ways to have help to be able to trust their intuition and to learn what that a heart feeling is when they feel like they're being unsafe. What to do if they're approached by a stranger. Their code word is so important, and the trusted adults in your family need to know what that code word is as well, so that they can be able to share it if they feel they're being unsafe. Never leave your children wandering around without your permission in the yard. I saw a video one time where a girl was taking the garbage out, being a responsible young adult. She was probably around 9, and a guy was walking down the sidewalk, and it was caught on a camera video, but her dad was watching her through the window. And somebody just grabbed her wrist and started to drag her away. She did exactly what I teach in my classes about how to get away from a stranger by pulling away, screaming, and running. But the dad went out because he saw this happening, because he still had eyes on her, and chased the guy down and had him arrested for assault. So we really have to teach them how to learn to get away, use their voice, and their leverage in self-defense classes that I teach for safety for children and self-defense. They need to memorize their full names, phone numbers, and addresses. Our children need to know all this information. Never go inside your home if the windows and doors have been tampered with. So teach them that if the door's ajar, don't just walk in. If the window's open, don't go in that room. If they have this feeling that something's going on, don't go there. And never, of course, go anywhere unless the adult knows the code word that you're supposed to go with them. So with teenagers, the most common age for abduction, between 12 and 18, account for 80% of the abductions in the United States. Girls are most typically the victims because they're taught to be nice. They don't know how to speak up for themselves. Let's change that. Don't be nice. Add more spice. It can save your life. Prime victims of human trafficking are less than 18 years old, and they can be introduced to that through social media as well. So we have to be alert with their social media and make sure they're not being targeted by online predators. Keeping them safe by monitoring their social media. Only 15% of parents are aware of their social media. Unfortunately, the teenagers want some privacy. The adults want to take care of them. There's a tug of war going on with that. So tell them you'd like to have access to their passwords so that they can only be accessed in case of an emergency situation. Have this conversation with them in a calm manner so that they know you're not trying to be overprotective. You just want to make sure that they're safe. There is a whole section in the parent guide about how to talk to them about online safety, and this makes this conversation a little easier. Teach them how to fight back with self-defense. Make sure that they know their knowledge and be able to get away. Teach them to identify red flags as an adult. Asking, can you keep a secret, is a red flag that the teenagers need to know. And as teenagers are more independent, they start to drive and go places alone. Make sure you know where they are. Have an app to track them and tell them to check in, because that makes you feel better. Make it look like it's for you, not for them. They won't feel so invaded. It's always a good idea to have your children carry a body alert monitor that they can set off as an alarm. But I also have one that has a GPS tracker at warriordefenders.com with a 2-year warranty on it. And it's a loud alarm, but a silent GPS tracker. So if they set that off, it will send an alert to up to 5 people to know where they are, and nobody is going to be able to turn it off until they do it themselves with their PIN number. So it hooks up with your phone. It's a really good device, and I recommend y'all check that out at warriordefenders.com. So there are some missing adults out there, and we need to know ourselves how to stay safe. 184,000 adults were reported missing. Cases involving violence are common in older ages than younger ones. Violence is common cases involving women versus men, and perpetrators are typically someone they know, a former domestic violence relationship, or a stalker. Stalking awareness is a whole different topic on how to stay safe with that. So keeping yourself safe, as always, what I say all the time, is situational awareness, being aware of what's around you. Carry your personal protection equipment with you in your hand, not in the bottom of your purse. Know your routes that you're taking. Walk confidently. Be able to switch your routes and know another way home if you need to go a different way. If something is feeling odd for you, trust your intuition. If you scream and fight and make a scene, most likely when you hit a shark in the nose, they go away. If you act calm like they want you to, you're not going to get a better chance of going away. You have a better chance of getting home if you resist. So we have quite a few examples of what can happen on videos that I can share with you in presentations that I do for safety presentations. We also do first-person shooter survival training as well as in-home invasion training. But why don't you want to be taken to a secondary location? It's so important, and there's a video on my YouTube channel at Warrior Defenders that talks about abduction prevention and how not to be shoved into a vehicle. But at home, how do you protect yourself? You need to make sure that if there is something strange at your house, like a package at your door, you want to make sure that it's safe to open your door. If somebody rings your doorbell and you see them on the Ring camera, talk to them through the Ring camera. You have to make sure when you're answering your door, if you feel unsafe, to answer it with your personal protection in hand. You want to keep the door locked till you know that person has shown their ID. You want to look out the windows. You want to make sure that the hard corners are covered. And you need to assess the situation properly. So assessing the situation means all of those things. Scanning the area, even situation when it's in your house. And assessing the corners is something that you want to do to make sure that nobody's hiding behind pillars or bushes. So it's imperative that you keep your bushes trimmed down. There's no places for people to hide, like right off your porch. so that while you're walking out, somebody can't grab your ankle by your front porch and pull you down and knock you on the head and take you away. You also want to make sure that you are able to fight before your attack, so have control of your fight versus flight, freeze position. Make sure that you know how you would react in a stressful situation. You should never leave your house without your protection in hand, even in your own front yard. And in fact, as we discussed a few weeks back, 60% of the assaults happen around your own neighborhood within a mile of your own house. So making sure that nobody gets into your house is imperative. But carrying a stun device or a striking tool, and definitely a body alarm or a pepper spray, you don't have to carry all of them, but some of them would be very useful to you to have, the ones you would use, the ones you're comfortable with. And of course, a tactical pen is also a great device for people with real estate. In my real estate safety course, we talk about how effective a tactical pen is for self-defense, especially when realtors are by themselves so much. So you want to make sure that you have the appropriate self-defense tool along with knowledge to go along with what you're needing to do to keep yourself safe in your environment. You need to cause quick injury fast. So make sure that you strike hard, strike fast, strike one time, and get away. Finish the fight in 5 seconds or less. Most important to prevent abduction prevention. Most important. Situational awareness. Don't be taken away to a different location. Carry your protection items with you before you leave the house. Make the decision to fight and be alive. Teach your children how to be safe by talking to them about safety online, getting them to be open with you. Learn to make sure that they know you're just trying to be helpful and not invasive. If you need those parent guides, they talk about everything from bringing a gun to school, to online safety, to playing with other children, to even your first journey to the bathroom by yourself, and how to use a body alarm properly, how to make sure you use your voice properly, who to know to go to. And the children's guides will talk about that, as well as the books. And I recommend that the game and all of those are used to help teach our children to be safe as a younger age. We want to cut these statistics down. We want to make sure that our kids go home safe, our teenagers are safe, keep them safe, especially now. Get them prepared for college as they're going off into the world. Teach them the self-defense that they need to survive. So along with that, I teach group training classes as well. You can do private in-home invasion sets to make sure that your family knows a safety plan, and that we can set up your home to make sure that it's not an easy target for the invaders to know that you can get in. There are certain things that can be done in different homes and environments. I also teach one-on-one individualized private self-defense training for individuals or for families to come up with safety plans on how to know to defend themselves, what to do in case mommy or daddy is trying to defend you, and how they can help or get away or go to a safe location and ask for help. We go through all of this along with just training group seminars to learn how to stay safe. With the Red Zone coming up in August, it's priority on my mind to get as many teenagers ready for college and for their new life, and these pre-adults that they're turning into. We're so excited about them graduating, but we want to make sure that nothing happens to them while they're gone. So with the Red Zone coming up in August, I am making sure that everybody knows that we do have their self-defense seminars available. And what is a self-defense seminar? So that goes into teaching about abduction theory and abduction prevention, and it goes into what to do in case of, and how to strike and use our abilities at any age and any size to be able to defend against a larger attacker. In the drill classes recently, we talked about abduction theory. We talked about the vans, those creepy vans out there where you throw the blankets over them and then they learn to fight, although the fear is there. Even though it's a fake scenario, you still get the sense of the stress level. If you don't train through the stress level, you won't be able to get through your fight or flight or freeze when you're in that environment. So we do have trauma-free, but we do the throw over the blanket, and they have to defend themselves and get away. And that is extremely useful to work through their stress. So with that, you want to just always be prepared and be aware of your surroundings. With abduction prevention, the biggest thing I can say is to be prepared. Be prepared, keep your head up on a swivel. And let's make sure that nobody in this listening area or anybody listening to this podcast today at Warrior Defenders Empower Strike Back does not end up on the news. That's the whole reason why I do this. As a survivor, it's important to know the stress level and abduction happens instantly. If you have seen Sound of Freedom, you've seen the children being taken away. If you've seen anything on the news and what's happened in Alabama recently in the last few months, that one girl disappeared, we don't want to have that kind of trauma in our life. This is so important for us to keep in mind and to make sure that if you feel like you're being followed, if you feel like you're being stalked, if you feel like somebody's watching you, make sure that you take the appropriate steps by talking to the police, holding your self-defense tools, knowing your knowledge, know how to get away. Use your voice. Use your voice. And don't say help. Don't say help. Say fire, say car, say bomb, say anything else, but don't say help, because that is overused. Always remember to fight back. Fight back. Don't give in. Don't ever be taken. Don't ever be taken. Because once you're taken into another vehicle, they're going to say they're going to let you go, and you're not going to be home anymore. And as you can tell, this is really, really important to me, because when I see those videos where they disappear versus when I see the videos where the one lady brought the gas, when she's putting gas in her car and they try to wheel her in, and they will come around you with multiple vehicles and multiple people, and she decided to spray them with gasoline. That was using an improvised weapon. So I like those videos better than I like the ones where they just disappear. So improvised weapons, knowing your surroundings, thinking on your feet, looking to the right of you, saying, what is this at the right that can save me? What can I fight with at the right of me right now? If you look down at your table, what is it there at the right that you can use? Is it a fork? Is it a coffee mug? In your home, is it a cane if you need to use a cane to walk? Is it a remote control? All those things right to the right of you or to the left of you can be used to defend yourself as an improvised weapon. Those things are so important to keep in mind in your what-if situations. If you were out in public and somebody came up to you and tried to take you away, what's your what-if? What do you have in your hand? What do you have in your purse? Is there a car over there you could throw that person against to get away? Is there an alleyway that you should avoid? All these things can be a game when you're walking through the town to make sure that you can take care of yourself. I share a lot of these and more in my classes weekly and scenarios online as well. Check me out at warriordefenders.com on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube channel, and join me again for Empower Strikes Back on WQEE The Key 99.1 FM.